What's going on, world? This is your girl, Marky Lemons-Ryhal. And let me tell you this, my private membership group, Six Figures in 12 Months, they made a request at our private town hall meeting. And one of the requests was one, virtual assistant, how to hire a virtual assistant, and who was I using to do some of my VA work. So I decided that I needed to share, okay, my virtual assistant with everyone in the group because to whom much is given, much is expected. But then I also believe in collaboration. So I am going to introduce Sandee, but let me tell you how I actually found Sandee, which I don't know if she recalls the story. I watch Ronnie over on YouTube. Ronnie actually oversees education for Canva, period. Okay. He's based in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. And so he had highlighted 5 ways to make money with Canva, and he talked about Sandee. So I said, well, if the director of education for Canva is mentioning Sandee, I need to go and follow Sandee myself. So I went and I followed Sandee. I liked what she was creating, leveraging Canva, and then realized that she had a VA package, a couple of other things that she's fluent in English, and just loved her overall presentation. So what's going on, Sandee?
Hi, Marky. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me over. I don't usually do this stuff because I'm kind of like behind the scene person, but thank you so much. This is really a pleasure to have, to be with you here.
Well, let me say this. I knew you didn't do it, but I also realized that you had taught some classes online virtually at the university. And I said, well, if she was willing to do something for the university, let me go and ask if she would be willing to come and share herself with the world of real estate. And so I want you to tell people what it is that you do as a virtual assistant.
Well, I started being a virtual assistant way back 2016. So I do a lot of admin stuff, but then I slowly transitioned into niching down into providing Canva design services only. Now I do email setup and automations, email marketing stuffs. So I design those. My clients provide me their copies and then I set them up. Depends on what other platforms are, usually MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber, name a few. And then I've noticed that my audiences are usually like coaches, course creators. So they request a lot of workbooks. And so come in Canva, I fell in love with the platform. It's so easy to use. It's drag and drop. As long as you have like an eye for a design, you don't have to be a designer to be able to pull it off. And then clients started coming in when I started posting, the workbooks that I've done, the guides, PDFs, and social media graphics. So now what I really do is I provide custom design solutions for female coaches, virtual assistant, online business managers, and course creators.
Now, there were a couple of things that stood out. Why I think that you would be great also in the world of real estate. Essentially, we are consultants, right? Our buyers and our sellers. We all need to have a buyer's guide. We all want to have a seller's guide, but we want it to be custom to us.
Yes.
That means that we have our picture on it, our language on it. So I'm seeing a need there. But let me also say this. The world of real estate is 67% female, with the average age being right at around 53. So I know that a lot of people inside of my membership group, a lot of people who engage with me, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram, are more likely, actually, my engagement is 80% female with that number one age category being 45 to 54. So my engagement is actually 10% higher. So it's more engaging, right, than are actually following. And I'm going to tell you why I like the fact that you specialize in female designs, because women look at design a little different.
Yes.
One of the reasons that I reached out to you was that I knew that I needed to soften my brand. And I understood that I was working with a lot of females. So I was very intentional in who I was going to hire to create my content, understanding who my audience is. But then I got jealous. Let me tell you why. Because I realized that there's a company that you actually create, they have a subscription-based program that you actually create all of their content for their subscription program. And I just so happened to follow them, and I followed you, right? And I saw you post it and I saw them post it. I said, wait a minute, Sandee is creating their content too. And so you're focused on female designs, but then also in the Canva design platform.
Yes.
And you said that Canva was easy or easier for you to use as a designer.
Yes.
Could you give some additional benefits on why anyone would want to have a Canva account right now?
To be honest, as a designer perspective, it's easier to use. However, as a regular user, like because I talk a lot with my clients and students, they find it really collaborative and easy to use because it's online based. So you can access it on the internet, on your phone, on your iPad. And the user design is not that overwhelming. So it's not just, plain black and with tools that don't have names on it. So, but what most of my clients really like about it, it's very collaborative. Like they can get on it, even if they haven't opened Canva yet. The first time that they open the link to the design is that they're able to figure out how to edit the text, how to change the color, because it's very straightforward. And even my kids use them.
You're already training your children to use it.
Oh, yes.
Look, I understand. Now, let me tell you what I think is quite interesting is that Canva is consistently updating their platform. And what I'm doing is I'm encouraging realtors to make it a financial investment for two reasons. The fact that it now has that social media management platform. So everything we could resize in the system so it'll look good on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But you can easily pull that design into that social media management platform and schedule your content to go out. Earlier this year, I initially was using Hootsuite. And Hootsuite sent me a nice little letter that said our pricing is going from $5.99 a month to $75 a month. And I'm like, oh, ain't no way I'm paying $5.99 to $75. So Canva does have that platform. But then I'm thinking about if you have a real estate team, if you want to collaborate as a real estate agent with your buyers and your sellers, you can actually leverage Canva to collaborate with your team, your office, your agents, anyone, and they not mess up that original design. So we still have that. And what you did for me was we have a folder and all of your design elements are in that folder. But if I just wanted to change one word, I wouldn't say Sandee changed this word. I would actually just go in and change that one word myself. Because we're at that time of the year where people are redesigning and updating, do you have any design tips that you can give to female-owned business? What are you seeing as the number one issue for their existing design, and how can they rectify that?
What I can see, the common mistake is that they they overdo it. Just keep it simple. Use at least two fonts, and 2 to 3 colors. That's it. Just make sure as well that your texts are readable. It's not the background is not too dark or not too bright. Make the colors contrasting. So don't use a lot of flowers. Don't use a lot of glitters and everything. Just keep it simple.
I'm loving that. So 2 to 3 colors, you want them to contrast. 2 fonts, but make sure the fonts are readable. So here's what's interesting that I've been talking with real estate agents about, and that is the fact of using cursive fonts. Now, we do use a cursive font generally just for my name, but nothing that we want people to read, because around the age of 40, something happens. people need to have readers. That means that if you don't have that contrast or everything is a cursive font, the likelihood is the person who the content is intended for, it's not legible to them. And that means that you don't have a good design.
It's also, you have to make sure that it's a scroll stopper so they will read on your content. So if it's not readable at all, it will just, it only takes 3 seconds for me to stop on a social media post. So if it's not that clean or too busy, I don't read at all. So you'll miss an opportunity with that.
Oh, I'm loving that. Make it a scroll stopper. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if it's too hard, it gives people a headache, right? And they just, they keep on scrolling past that. So you're doing a lot with email marketing. You mentioned MailChimp, Constant Contact. What kind of results are consultants? Because I know some people would like to believe that email is dead. How are you seeing consultants leverage email in their businesses? And what are some of the design elements that you're pulling into that email for them?
To be honest, the strategy has to start with like the subject line, and my client take care of that. But I make sure that once they open that email, their eyes stick to it. I first put in a very nice email header. That's very important. So it's like where you place. Sometimes my client will just only put like 2 to 3 words on it, so it's not overwhelming. And then make sure that the fonts, the colors are still consistent with their branding. So I make sure that they are, the flow, the reading flow is still in there, but still looks pretty.
So the other day I decided I use Kajabi. I was using MailChimp, but I decided that I was going to create my emails myself. And I created, it had a bunch of words in it, and I really wasn't filling my emails. And I have like 8 set up in the system. Then I created an email and I had a lot of nice little pictures in it, right? And I'm like, oh, this email looks great. I went back and redid the 8 emails all over again because it was entirely too much in the 8. But when I saw that one that looked great with just like a bunch of pictures in it and everything was the same color, it wasn't a lot of words, I'm like, oh, this looks fabulous. So when I'm thinking of your email marketing, I'm also thinking like of PowerPoint, right? You want to have a nice picture and a few lines of text, but you don't want this to read like a novel.
Correct.
And so I'm loving, you said the headline. What type of workbooks are you creating to help people in business?
To be honest, the workbooks that I am creating are already provided by my client. I just make them pretty, but most of them depends on their niche. There are like guides, journals, and checklists. Sometimes most of them are like lead magnet. So I just design them according to my client's branding, but make sure that, the eyes don't get too tired reading them because sometimes they're like over 10 pages. So how you make it visually appealing actually entices the audience to read more because it gives them it rests their eyes. Instead of putting a lot of words in one page, you put in another element of visualization.
Oh, I'm loving that. So, because you're thinking from a design element, right? And I know that most people in my world of real estate don't think of from a design element, but you're talking about you don't want it to be harsh for them to read because you want them to get through the content. But one thing you just said was lead magnets. And so I'm a lead generating machine. And in the world of real estate, if realtors want to earn a 6-figure income, $100,000 per calendar year, they need to add 2,880 contacts to their customer relationship management system. One of the ways to do that is to have the most landing pages. Well, in order to have successful landing pages, you need to have great lead magnets? What is going to be that item of value that you're going to give in exchange for the person giving you their contact information? So one thing that Sandee can do is she can help you with the email marketing. She can help you with the lead magnet. She can help you with the landing page, but also with your social media post so that everything is branded consistently. So this is what I want you to think about. Some people buy leads. I don't buy leads. The money that you would spend in buying leads, you would actually hire Sandee. So let's say that you do a buyer consultation, you have a listing consultation, you work with investors, and you work with tenants. To me, that's 4 different pages. That's 4 different lead magnets. It could all be on one site, and then each would have a different URL. Sandee could come in, she could help you create those pages. She could help you create those lead magnets. So now when you go back to a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you would post the marketing that would direct people over to the landing page. They would subscribe, and then you would actually deliver them the lead magnet. And it's a reason why you want it to look good, because it represents your brand. And you want to stand out in your marketplace. What's going to be your unique selling proposition? So we said that they overdo it. Is there anything else that you're seeing people do, Sandee, besides overdo it? Because I see the overdue. Believe me, I see the overdue.
Also, when they do graphics, they need to make sure that they are using the suggested or the appropriate sizing per platform so that it will not look like it's being stretched or being compressed, because that speaks low quality. So you need to make sure that your graphics are in high quality. And the way to do that is to figure out the appropriate or the correct sizing for each platform.
I'm loving that, because you don't want it to be compressed, and you definitely don't want it to be stretched, right? You want to make sure that those pixels look great. Yes. What is, are you willing to share with us a hack, like something that we don't know about Canva that you've learned through your experience that we might not find in a Google search?
All right. Usually for social media graphics and for everything that you wanted to post digitally, download it as a PNG file, because the JPEG version of it has a lower file resolution. And once you put it on digital marketing or for digital use, they will look like it's being stretched or pixelated. Now for PDF print gives you the 300 dpi resolution and just the PDF standard for digital use. So I actually have like a checklist for that I can share. So I'm going to pop it in. I'm going to send it to you, Marky, so you can post it on your social.
And then I'll also make sure that I include it when we do the blog post for people to be able to download it. So here's the thing. I was still downloading some JPEG. I'm glad that you clarified, because here's the thing. If you're using Canva, it's a JPEG button and a PNG. You pick which one, so you're not going through any additional effort to get that file in a PNG file. So keep in mind, moving forward, you want to use the PNG file because it's going to give you the higher, better resolution, right?
Yes.
And then on the PDF, the 300 DPIs, is that dot per inch? I think it's dots per inch.
I'm sorry. Yeah, per inch, pixel per inch.
Pixel. And let me tell you when I had to deal with that. If you are doing publications and you're using platforms like Amazon, Lulu to actually print, they mandate that you have a certain DPI for whatever that book graphic is, or the print resolution is going to be horrible. So for one of my books, The Social Selling Journal, right, I'm going to tell you this right here with this red and everything sent me through all kinds of issues because I did not have the correct DPI. So I found all these third-party tools because I wanted it to look like it looks. It was not looking like that. Even the picture online was looking a little grainy, which then means that people were less likely to buy it. This did become a international bestseller. However, That DPI was so important on here. It was unreal. It had me frustrated. It had me up at night trying to figure it out. And another reason why I think that people should invest in the paid version of Canva is due to the fact that you're going to get full access to pixels, to Pixabay.
Yes.
You can then take that and you could use a Amazon merch or the KDP to actually sell books. There's so many additional benefits for that very low cost. So Sandee, tell us about, because I know that you are real big into Canva. I know that people don't know this, but some of the times when they're searching for templates over in Canva, some of those templates are your templates. So can you share with them your Canva template address? Because they don't even know that you already have templates on the platform that they might already be using and not know that they're using them.
So yes, I also create templates for Canva's templates library. So they are free for Canva Pro users, and you can easily find them using keywords. However, if you wanted to check all of my collection, you just go to canva.com/Sandee Sevilla official. I can send later on the link with Marky so you guys can look it up.
So I went and I was fortunate enough to be able to find you. So I actually bookmarked your site because you have some great templates already inside of Canva, which is a great relationship to be able to have because it brings more visibility to your business. So one, templates are already inside of Canva, but then you can create custom templates. So how would one hire you?
They just go into my website, www.sandeesolutions.com, look into my services and packages to see if something fits you. And if there's not, if you're looking for something more, you can just book a call with me.
So currently, over time, because you've become more busy, more people are hiring you, right? I think Ronnie did a good thing, right? More people are hiring you. I know that is it a minimum of 3 months that one would need to work with you? There's a minimum time frame involved now, right?
Yes, there is. So at least 3 months of contract, because I need to make sure that, I'm being consistent with my client's project as well. So I need to plan ahead.
I love that because guess what? We need to be consistent as well. So that makes us more consistent. And one thing that I will say, because people have reached out to me from my publications, I'm thinking about even more publications, worksheets, because everyone that is a realtor is a consultant, whether they know they're a consultant or not. And what I love about Canva is the fact that everything that's in that system, you can download it a couple of different ways, right? They could do PNG. Now we know why we need everything to be a PNG. They could download it as a PDF. Okay. You can also download it as video because Canva now has really a great, robust video editor inside of the platform. You can also share that to social platforms if you have the premium version. You get to remove the background and you can resize it, right? So that we do not, let me go back and get it, use the right size so it's not stretched or reduced, which then puts a strain on the eye. Oh, wow. I'm loving these tips. Let me add
one more thing.
Yes.
You can also now publish a single page as a website. So if you want to show something to a client, let's say you have like this new property that's coming up, then you just do a quick design and then publish it as a website, send the link to your prospects or audience.
Oh, so now we can do every page as a standalone website, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Every Canva document will be like a whole website. So I think I can share a link with what I did. I did want to test it out, to test Canva, the website. I think I sort of like created a portfolio in that. Let me just see if I can share the link.
Okay, so we got individual websites. We got social media management platform.
Mhm.
We got the fact that they could come follow you on Canva to get if they have the premium version to get some. But then I thought on your website you also gave like a little sample of a template. That did that take us back over to Canva itself?
Yes, that the 10 free social media templates. Yes, once you download that, it will give you like a PDF file with a link to the Canva template. So once you open that, it will automatically save in your Canva account.
So when I think not only are you able to help with our branding, it also allows us to monetize. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at lead generation, the ability to monetize, the ability to stand out in the marketplace, and that it is an investment. But the beautiful thing, unlike the past, right, is that if you're creating those designs inside of Canva, let's say Sandee puts 2021 on something, but it's still real relevant in 2022. You don't have to call Sandee or the graphic designer, right, to update it. You can actually go in and change 2022, or maybe you decide, I don't even want to put a year. I can just delete that little box and my design is still relevant, which is why Canva is worth billions of dollars in a very short period of time.
A lot.
Yeah, because of all the things that it can do. Now I'm going to ask you a question because I've never been clear about the time difference. You're in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am
Yes.
the Philippines.
What time is it there right now? Because I want to make sure when I'm looking, I want to make sure that I'm respectful of your time because I'm like, I never knew the two time difference. I'm guesstimating. So what time is 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here? What time is it in your neck of the woods?
Actually 12:57 a.m. here, so past midnight.
12:57 a.m. Well, one, I want to thank you for staying up with us to share some Canva tips with our audience. Everybody, I said that I would share Sandee with you guys. I'm sharing Sandee with you guys. Make sure that you're clear about what it is that you want. You're going to be able to go over to her website if you want to engage her in a relationship. She's timely. I'm thinking you use Asana, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is it Asana? It's Asana where everything is on there. You get to see where she's at in the progress. So she's using a productivity tool to keep everything on track and to manage her business. So Sandee, I want to thank you, one, for staying up late with us, but I want you to tell everybody what your website is again so that they can come check you out.
Yeah, guys, you can go ahead and check me out at www.sandeesolutions.com. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, which is at Sandee Solutions. You can see there all of my recent projects and Canva updates.
Thank you, Sandee. I appreciate you for staying up late and spending time. Thank you.